Hello, guys.
So welcome to Toronto.
Thank you.
Congrats on the new album. It's
Thank
getting
you.
a lot of praise, a lot of success. I imagine it feels good to just, get that off your chest, get it out there in the open now.
Yeah.
Can you kind of breathe easy now that it's...
Oh, yeah. I was hanging out with my friend Orlando, and he was like, you seem like really happy and like just like nonchalant about everything. And it was right after I put it out, and I was like, yeah, man, the album came out. Like, I really have nothing to worry about right now because it's out in the world. You can get, everyone can just make fun of it or like it or not, and it's not going to really bother me just because as an artist, like, I think for anyone, the main thing that sucks is having to hold on to songs for a really long time. And that was the bummer for me. It's like I was working on that for about like 2 years and just sitting there and keeping songs away from everybody, just like eats at your soul.
Yeah.
And, like,
were
just
you
get
nervous
sad.
before you released it, or you felt pretty confident?
I felt pretty confident. I just wanted it all to be out. I like the single stuff. I was just like, let's just give it to everybody and do the singles later. But with labels, they want to do everything.
Yeah, and you're currently on tour with the album. How's that going so far?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been really awesome.
Any particular highlights along the way, or?
A lot of the signs. Like some person said, they wrote a sign that said, "You can butter my muffin," which I guess is a reference to my song, Not Butter. And then a lot of the signs, just the fans. Like there's been like some girl went to the Charlotte show, the DC show, and the Baltimore show. I'm blown away that she was even able to go to Charlotte and then to the other ones. And,
it's dedication.
Yeah, it's really cool to have like such a strong fan base, and I've noticed that especially with the album now. It's really like defined me as an artist, I think.
And you're also on the Mad Decent Boat Party recently.
Yes.
I was wondering how was that, first of all? DJ Hansel made an appearance, right?
Yes. I never want to be on a boat. Is it as crazy
as the pictures?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah. No, it was exactly like that.
Okay.
I never want to go on a boat again, though. Ever.
Why?
In a year I probably will, but like, man, it was just so much drinking.
Yeah, too much.
Oh, yeah.
And how does that compare to a Holy Ship? What do you like better?
It was pretty much the same. Yeah. The thing that I like better is just it was my label. Yeah, not my label, but Diplo's, and like everyone there knows each other really well. Yeah, it was just our crews hanging out, and that's why it was just like debauchery the whole time because everyone, it's just like brothers in arms. So it was insane.
It looked insane. So on the album, I just want to talk about that for a bit. So I'm curious which tracks you kind of made for the fans and which ones you kind of made for yourself.
All the ones that I made for myself are Hurricane, Love in the Middle, and I guess We're Impossible. Were all made for myself, and then the rest of them were pretty much like songs that I think fans would really enjoy. And When We Were Young. Most of the rest of them, like We Make It Bounce. All the club records I knew were like going to be fan favorites, and then I knew that like a lot of the kids that wanted to hear just club records were going to get pissed off at like songs like Hurricane and that.
Butter.
Yeah. But it's an album.
Yeah.
So, Not Butter, that one was definitely for fans. I knew that one was like, all right,
that was
they're going to be so happy.
Yeah. That was more for fans, so my favorite one is actually Love in the Middle, so I'm just wondering if you could tell us how that one came about, where the idea for that came from.
It was so easy. It was insane how easy it was. So, at the beginning, I hit up Brendan Urie, and I was
like,
hey,
friends
man.
Before?
No.
Okay.
And supposedly he wrote in an interview that I just read that he listened to my music before I reached out to him, which was really cool. So when I reached out to him, he was like, yeah, let's make a song. I sent him this like shitty chord progression that had like claps, like, that's it. Yeah. And he was like, hey man, it's cool, but can you like elaborate on it a little bit more? I was like, yeah, totally. So as time went by, I never really elaborated on it and didn't send him anything. And I made this instrumental, which was at the time called Let's Make Love or something. And we were trying to put like vocoders on it, and it just wasn't really making the track go to another place that I wanted it to. And then I forgot about Brendan, and as we were talking about the old instrumental that I sent him, I was like, look, I can either go in the pop direction or I can go in like the M83 indie direction. And he said that, and that track is what I was trying to do with Let's Make Love, was turn into like some weird indie M83 style. And then I realized that he was the perfect person for it. So sent him the track. I don't even think it took him a day to write the lyrics that he sang on it. Like, he probably changed it a little tiny bit, but he sent me back the lyrics, I think, in 12 hours. of him singing on his little iPod headphones, being like, "Is it cool?"
Yeah.
And I said to my manager, I was like, "Dude, I think this is the best
You
song."
just knew you had it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow."
And
Nailed
yes,
it.
so you also have an upcoming EP coming
Yes.
out. Skrillex is helping you on that. What can we expect from that? When can we expect to see it?
Well, with the Skrillex song that I have, I just have to change the vocals out because they've used it on like a bunch of Jack U records now,
Yeah.
and then Diplo's used it on a bunch of his stuff because that's the person we got it from. So once we change that vocal out, I have to finish the other ones, but all of them are pretty much like in the.
How many tracks are on that EP?
I think it's going to be 4 or 5, and they're all going to be in the 110 Moombahton tempo, pretty much like the old school stuff. And actually, one of my favorite songs that I've ever made to date is on there. Yeah.
And when can we hear some of that? When are we gonna get? To
Definitely tonight. Yeah, for
what
sure.
about official like releases online?
I think sometime next year. I don't know like what date would be. I have to finish everything and then ask like what the label, what Columbia wants to do. Hopefully, it's just gonna be Columbia's just gonna be like, just put it on Mad Decent and that's it, and make us another album. I'll be like, cool.
Yeah. And you also have a collaboration coming out with Kygo. I'm
Yes.
assuming that's going to be on his album, though?
I think so.
Okay, so
It's either going to be on mine or his. We're still.
And is it that tropical house sound that he has? Or
No, not really.
Different?
It's very. I guess it's really down tempo. You can hear both of our styles in it really easily. It's not too tropical house because it's like 80 BPM, and it's got this guy singing on it, and it's very Flume inspired.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Australian hip hop type of stuff.
Yeah. Have you heard his new song? I'm just curious.
Yes.
You like it?
So good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I love all of his stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
It reminds me of like Toto Africa.
Okay.
It makes me feel like I want to like go to Australia and just sit in the sun and just be like.
Chill out.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your Instagram account for a
Yes.
bit. It's like, it makes me laugh every single time I see it. It could honestly be a movie and be like funnier than half of the shit out there. It's so funny. I know you've been doing this thing for a while, so would you say that this is kind of just like an extension of who you are, just these like characters and just being funny, or is it more kind of like an act for the fans?
Oh no, it's just me just having
being
fun.
yourself.
Yeah, it's like from when music stopped being a hobby, that
Yeah.
like Vine and Instagram just kind of became my hobby. I like laughing at myself,
Yeah.
and I just like making other people laugh. So it's definitely just me as a person. Like you can ask my tour manager. We have the most fun and like just joke around all the time.
Would you say it's a branding play in any sense, or
No, because I never did it as that. And then I guess with like the album coming out, that's when I did use it as a branding play. But other than that, it's just
where do you get these ideas from? Because some of them are so like just
when I'm taking a
outlandish.
shower.
Yeah.
Honestly,
They just
like
come to you, they just-
yeah, I'll be taking a shower and I'll be like, I mean, yesterday when I did the deep house
Yeah.
bathtub thing, there was a tub and my friend was sitting in it, and I walked away, and then as I was walking away, I was like, oh my fucking god, I had the best idea ever. Mike, come here, you gotta film this. And we went upstairs and I took my shirt off and got in the bathtub.
Would you ever consider acting or comedy in a more official
Yeah.
way? Like,
I've always
on the
wanted
side
to.
or something? Yeah.
When I was growing up and when I went to high school, I went to this arts high school, and I tried to transfer to the theater department, and I couldn't get in because my grades were too low in the visual arts department. But I've always been trying to, and like, I mean, when I was younger, I did it for a second, and then just kind of lost interest. But that's why like Instagram and Vine, they really
It's
like
the perfect outlet. For
yeah,
you.
exactly. It's just for me to just do stupid shit.
And we know you have some pretty strong Tinder game as well.
Yes.
Do you have any tips just for people watching? General Tinder tips.
If you're in Toronto, the best question to ask is on a scale of 1 to Drake,
Yeah.
how much do you cry when you have sex?
I'll have to try that out. Okay, so
Are you really gonna try it? Because you should. It'll work.
Does it work? Have you tried it?
I tried it earlier. I don't know if I got a response.
I'll have to try it then. So I want to talk about your relationship with Diplo a bit. He's been a big influence on your career. Tell us about how you guys kind of first linked up and how he's kind of helped you along the way.
The way we first linked up was my old manager had sent him my song Masta Blasta, and that day my manager hit me up and he was like, "Hey man, you heard the song and he really likes it." And then I immediately went on Twitter and was like, "Yo, heard you like the song?" And he followed me, and then I hit him up on Instagram DM and I was like, "Yo, what's up? That's awesome that you like the song." And he's like, "Yo, where do you live?" I told him LA, and then he was like, "Come to the studio, man." And then that night I went to the studio and hung out with him, and like it was so surreal because we were just sitting down watching a Phillies game, drinking a beer, and he was just talking about the most random stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how it formed. I just like kept going to the studio as much as possible, and trying to just do anything I could for him.
Yeah.
And like that's he wanted to just release the one song as just a single, and I was like, I want to do an EP. Let's do an EP. Let's do a song together. Come on, let's do a song together. And he just, I think I asked him so many times and just being so annoying that he just finally was like, yeah, cool, we'll do a song together.
Yeah. And does he still, would you say like he still gives you feedback, kind of helps you out with
your
stuff? Or, yeah? Was
everything.
he helpful on the album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
And how, like, what about his record label, Mad Decent? You know, how have they kind of helped you grow as an artist?
I mean, that's the best label ever because they don't limit me at all. Like,
you can be as creative as you want.
Yeah, like, I think putting out I Don't Give a Fuck or Shit, that song, it's a pretty big departure from like what comes out on Mad Decent, and the fact that they let me do that because they just wanted me to do whatever was really cool. Because most of the stuff is very like tribally, not too much melody stuff, and I don't know. I just love all the people that work there. They're all super nice and really helpful.
And another kind of high-profile relationship you have is with your cat. That one's kind of a love-hate one.
I hate my cat so much.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you kind of clear the air? Do you love your cat? Do you hate your cat? I know you're a cat person in general, right?
I used to love my cat. I still do somewhat, but, you know, it's just, it's like the first time I got it, it was so awesome. I adopted it, and I brought it home. It was staying in my apartment, and I would used to like come up onto the couch and like nuzzle on me, like all the cute, cool cat stuff that you want cats to do to you. And then I think what happened is it got stuck in my roof, and I had to cut a hole in the roof and put like a can of tuna on a makeshift ladder that was up to there, and wait for his head to pop out to grab him and pull him through. And I think that was a little bit traumatizing for him.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And then after that, he kind of just turned into an asshole, and I just gave it to my parents. And where he is now. Yeah, I just go every now and then and hang out with him, but he does not like to be held or like. It's to like wait for him to come and hang out with you.
I heard you did an interesting promo though in Montreal the other day with cats.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we went to a cat cafe, and they were giving high fives. Yeah. If you have food, you make them smell the food, and then you put up your hand, and they'll high five you.
Really?
Then you give them the
Never
food.
even heard of those before.
Dude, it is the coolest place ever.
Yeah.
So awesome.
So you had a gig a while back, not a while back, but a few years back, the MySpace gig. Yeah, so I know a lot of interviewers have asked you about that.
I bet MySpace hates me now because I've told them how shitty that gig was.
Yeah, so I mean, we all know it didn't go so well, but I'm just curious, as a DJ, when you get into that situation and you get a gig where just nobody's into it, like, what do you do? How do you kind of remain in control and, you know, not get nervous or...
Well, I did what I thought would help, which was, like, trying to play what you think some person in the room is going to vibe with. And no one there was vibing with anything. And I don't know if that's because they were all Sleigh Bells fans or Fly-Lo fans, but I was playing everything. I played disco, I played hip-hop, I played
Were you getting, like, kind of worried or panicky up there? Or?
No, I just was like, alright, cool, that didn't work, I'm going to go to this. That didn't work, I'm going to go to this. That didn't work, I'm going to go to this. And nothing. No responses from anybody, and I was just like, fuck, whatever. I'm going to keep trying to figure it out, and then my set ended, and I was just like, that sucked.
Would you say that's, like, the worst show you've had?
Definitely. I would much rather play to 3 people in a 500 cap room that are into it than a 500 cap room with people that aren't into it.
That makes sense. Have you had any...
Or not even not into it, but just like...
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't know yet. Yeah. I don't know. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah. Have you had anything similar to that? Or anything nearly as bad?
Not recently. Everything's been a little bit better.
Yeah, I can imagine.
From that. Yeah.
It can only go up from there. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so just before we finish off, you have a section on your website called Awesome Shit, where people could pay you to basically do crazy awesome shit.
Yeah.
Is there anything on there that you particularly want to do that no one's paid yet and that you would love someone to pay you to do?
Yeah, I want to do the film, the Katy Perry video as a pirate.
How much is that one?
I think it's like 10 grand. It's film. So yeah, it's dress up as a pirate and remake the fireworks videos, like.
And how committed are you to like actually doing these things? Like if someone like even the join the army one, you're fully committed.
I definitely don't want to do that one at all. I'm probably going to raise the price of that one.
I think it's already at $1 million or something.
Yeah, so. I'm going to raise it to 2 or 3, probably 10.
Some asshole's just going to buy it and make you do it.
Yeah. But the bar mitzvah one.
Yeah.
I'm playing a bat mitzvah in the new year. I have to do that. It's in Chicago. Babysit your kid one.
You did that
got
one, right?
I did that one already. All of it goes to charity too.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's just like it gives me something
another way
to
to
do.
interact with your fans too.
Yeah, and it gives me just like weird stuff to do. Like I don't have to go and film the fireworks thing, but if I want someone to pay for it, so then I actually have to do it, and then we just turn into something funny.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.